We're going to be going over 5 brands that you might have heard of that are selling insanely well on eBay right now. Let's get right into it. One of the most difficult things when getting started to sell on eBay, especially when it comes to clothing, is figuring out what sells well. I see so many people get started selling on eBay in the clothing niche, and they have thousands of items in their store, and yet they sell 1 item a day. Well, that's the problem. They just don't have the knowledge to find the brands that actually sell well. So I picked out 5 brands that are very common that I know that you can find. So let's get into it. A lot of these brands have a really strong demand, especially getting into the wintertime. The first brand is called Brixton. This is a skateboard outdoor lifestyle brand. They make a lot of good stuff, wool sweaters, men's snowboard pants, women's snowboard pants, a lot of good stuff. But there's one thing in particular that's picking up right now that I'm finding for like $3 to $5 at thrift stores is Brixton flannel shirts. I know it doesn't sound amazing, but stick with me. So let's go to pre-owned. There's 331 listed. And then let's check out, actually there's 159 listed. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Are we working here? Okay, finally. 328 listed. And there's 159 sold, which is around a 50% sell-through rate. For a brand like this, that's pretty dang good. So let's just go over kind of an average sale price of what these are selling for. If I'm going to be out thrifting, I'm going to be paying anywhere between $3 and $7 for something like this, and then pricing it in that like $24 range. But you can see they range between $20 and $30. Just depends on size, pattern, material. But I find these heavyweight flannels pretty often almost can be considered like a shacket. I'll stick to the bigger sizes too. I would probably avoid picking up size small. Just going to be a slower sell-through rate. So overall, this is Brixton flannel search on eBay. So this has all the sizes. So pretty nice that the sell-through rate is decent, and we're at the end of October, so I would predict that that would continue to climb. If you haven't heard of this brand, I will show you the tag. It's a very simple, easy to miss tag. Brixton, very good brand. I mean, it's a great brand and retails for a lot, but not a lot of items sell well in the pre-owned category for this brand. So if you ever find Brixton flannels, most people are going to pass it up, especially at the Goodwill bins, but not you because you're watching this video. So I would probably at most spend about $7 if I found this, because it has a pretty good chance of selling within the next 3 to 6 months. So Brixton flannel was the first one. Something I've been working on behind the scenes is an AI listing tool. I've spent the last 70 days working on this tool, perfecting it, so I don't have to do listings anymore. Maybe you're a reseller like me that doesn't have a ton of time to keep up with learning all the keywords, filling out all the item specifics, figuring out how a title is supposed to look, figuring out how to price your item. Well, I built this tool, Easy Flip, to solve all those problems. With just a few clicks, you can have instant listings delivered to your eBay store within seconds, rather than spending all this time figuring it out, doing all the manual work. I'm saving about 5 to 10 hours per week listing 10 items a day. All I have to do is just upload photos, download them into Easy Flip, and click a few buttons, and listings are done. If you want to learn more, click the link down below and check it out. The next one is, you've probably heard of it, but Affliction. Affliction is like these, biker core, hardcore shirts that have these crazy print on them. Those sell well, but I'm talking about Affliction hoodies. So let's just double check, make sure we're all good here. So there is, I don't know why it's doing that. So we're at 908 listed, 908 Affliction hoodies listed. So let's go to sold, and then we can check out some sold comps. Affliction, we're searching lowest to highest. So let's go highest to lowest. So 239, 200, 175, 150. Obviously those are vintage ones, but look at that. Look at that. Amazing, amazing. Really cool. I mean, the design is really cool. And that's another point too. If you pick up anything and you're listing something with just a really cool show-stopping print, put that as your main photo, because it's out of habit that we just list the first photo as the front, right? But this is definitely way better. Going to make me want to click on this versus this front photo here. But Affliction hoodies, I've only found a few in my day. They are out there, but they're going to fetch some pretty nice money. The crazier the pattern, the more money you're going to get. So definitely be on the lookout for any Affliction hoodies. Let's just go ended recently, so we just can get an average price. So $75, $40, $49, $89, $49. So if I'm looking for something like this and I find it, I'm willing to pay even up to $15, probably or more, since the sell-through rate is hovering around 50% range. So that's a pretty nice one. Next one is a great organic, sustainable brand. Really nice and comfy to wear. I own one of these shirts, a proud owner of a Packed men's t-shirt, but they make a lot of organic cotton, sustainable materials. We're talking about Packed wide leg women's pants. So let me just make sure everything's set and ready. We have 142 listed, 178 sold in the last 90 days. This is Packed wide leg pants. Incredible. So here's what has sold recently: $35.99, $27.20, $25, $27, $33, $25, $21. So not a huge home run, but we're talking about things that you can actually find out in the wild. So Packed, an amazing sustainable brand. Let me get a tag here that I could show you. So if you're going to the bins or Dollar Day at the thrift store, probably most people are going to pass this up. It's still not really a well-known brand. It is moving up, that's for sure. It's becoming more well-known, but the thrift store probably doesn't know much about it. So Packed, probably can find it for $5 to $7 on the racks at Goodwill. Get it now before it's priced up. So that's a great brand. Pretty good sell-through rate on the wide leg pants. Other items you would just have to research. Like, let's go to Packed sweater, just for an example. Let's take a little detour. Packed sweater. Let's just compare. Pre-owned, 245 sold, and so even a Packed sweater, about a 50% sell-through rate. That's pretty cool. Really good brand. Really good brand. You might even have a hard time wanting to keep it for yourself. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? I mean, come on, that's the downfall of the clothing reseller. You get to keep what you really like, right? So, so Packed sweaters, very cool, very awesome, sustainable, organic, very comfortable. A lot of these are cardigans and they sell for pretty decent money. So that's a great brand. Outdoor Research is a really good one. Great outdoor brand, very comparable to, like, I would say, like a tier above Columbia, like a tier above Prana. They make really nice jackets, but Outdoor Research flannels is what we're talking about. And I was kind of surprised doing some research earlier was the sell-through rate on this. It's a mass-produced brand, but if you go to sold, you can see there's 152 sold and 340 listed, and that's just going to keep going up. So these nice heavyweight flannels go between $20 and $30, just depending on the material and the size and the style. So really cool, really good brand, solid. I probably wouldn't pick anything else up in this brand unless it's a jacket or the snowboard pants. But you can see here, I mean, $29.87, $34.95, $28, $36, $29. Not too bad. Outdoor Research, you probably have already heard of it. But as for the flannels, you're probably going to see them at the Goodwill bins, hanging out, doing nothing. That's the tag. Pick it up. Boom. Okay, next one is Cool. We all know about this brand. Every time I see the men's pants, even the men's shorts, I'll pick them up, especially if they're in that $5 to $10 range. I'll pick them up. But Cool button-up shirts, not so much. But the Cool flannels this time of year, yes. And I'll show you why. 2,400 listed on eBay, and we have 1,200 sold in the last 90 days. Pretty cool, pretty cool. 50% sell-through rate, and there's a lot out there. Actually, I think we just sold one on Whatnot for like $5. Probably should have kept that one. So let's see here. Cool flannel. We're all familiar with this brand, but if you're just getting into reselling, this is a great brand. You're definitely going to want to do more research. Don't just pick up anything in this brand, but the jackets, the sweaters, the flannels, definitely going to be something I would gravitate towards. So a really good sign is just you'll find this little shield on like the back of the pants, the shorts, on the sleeve of a flannel shirt. Really good. Again, $20 to $30. I would say for like 95 to 99% of the button-up shirts, I mean, I price between $20 and $30. Very rarely am I pricing something, unless it's like a Laurel Piana or something crazy suit supply, that I'm pricing more. For very basic brands like this, even Ralph Lauren button-ups, $24.99, just depending on material. But wanted to put you on to some brands that maybe you're outsourcing, you're having a hard time finding good profitable inventory. Well, there's 5 brands right there that I know you can find. I keep making these videos every week because as I'm doing more and more research and getting back into flipping stuff on eBay, I'm trying to just get better as a reseller. So I thought, in the meantime, why not hit record, share the good stuff with you? Let me know if you found any of these brands down below, what is selling for you, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.